Welcome. The Fresh Air is Overrated, the weekly source for anything gaming with wild Matt and Curbs.
And Steiner.
Again, and
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo, what's going on? It's Fresh Air is Overrated. It's episode number 243. That's crazy. That's a lot of episodes to do. I am Wild Matt, and Steiner is sitting over there.
I'm sitting over here, not over there.
Well, over there in an empty room.
Yes.
With a fridge and a table and the Ant-Man poster that you cannot really see anymore.
No.
It's hidden.
It's because I decided to slouch a little bit, so I'm facing the camera down more.
Oh, I forgot to set up my controller this week, so I have to click to switch between all the scenes. Damn, I won't be able to switch as easy. Oh well. Thursday, August 31st. It's almost September. Woo!
Yep.
Crazy. Kids going back to school soon.
Those darn kids.
Yeah, it's going to make things busier in Ottawa, that's for sure.
Mm.
All right, anyways, megasculpture.com. Go check that out. That's our website for all our shows include. Oh, hey, talk about that. I suppose I can bring up that Mac and his shows are done. He's no longer doing them.
Okay.
What's it called? Removed from Play was like at 191 episodes, I think. It was close to 200. It was like 189. It was one of those two numbers. And then Removed from Play, I don't remember. I have no idea. I didn't follow that at all, so I couldn't tell you. Anyways, he wants to do them, but I guess he just doesn't have anybody that wants to do them with him. Which, hey, that's an issue to have, because I know that issue. All right, anyways, iTunes, go check that out. Or I guess it's Apple Podcast now, is where you can go check out our podcast feeds, which has a 720p feed, a 360p feed, and an audio feed, if you're into all that stuff.
That's a lot of feeds.
Yes, and hey, I'm going to announce this right now. We're only on Mixer, on YouTube, and on Twitch next week. So all the other channels, I'm going to if you're watching it right now on those channels, and I totally forgot to bring up the chat room this week. So I'll bring it up eventually at some time. Yeah. Oh, yeah, anyways. So there you go. That's the intro to this terrible show right now.
Yep.
It's been going along so good, but no, anyways. Okay, let's go to games we're playing, because I didn't play anything, but yeah. So
Yeah.
there you go.
So I guess like I was playing Mass Effect Andromeda. I have some issues with it, but all in all, it's pretty good. This is after all the weird, fucked up facial weird and stare of death shit going on. Some of the it's I guess the game flow of how you do missions and complete the missions and stuff. Some of it's just kind of wonky. But yeah, it's not too bad. And then I was playing Destiny 2 beta. Played a little bit of that, probably about an hour and a half. Yeah, it's Destiny on the PC. It's definitely Destiny, and it's definitely on the PC.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Like on my computer, it ran at like 140 frames a second or whatever. So like, eat a dick, consolers.
Ouch. Ouch.
Even though my monitor couldn't actually keep up with this monitor can't. That monitor can. I got a new monitor. So eat a dick, console players.
Oh,
144 hertz, motherfucker.
Oh no.
What will we do? All those frames.
What will we do?
Be looking at 30 frames a second on most games.
Sure, that's whatever.
What you'll do.
Whatever. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I know. I can't like going like yeah, even at like the difference between 60 and 30 is big once you've actually done it. It's
oh yeah, no, for sure.
Back.
I know. Even just watching videos at 60, you're just like, well, this is better.
Yes.
So yeah, for games for sure.
Yeah.
Even back when games were 2D, 60 frames always better.
Well, you were on CRT, so that would have been like even more than 60, likely.
Well, whatever the hell it was. Fighting games mostly ran at 59.94 or whatever the hell it is. Whatever the standard for television is. Because that's the thing. Like, the PS4 doesn't even output 60 frames. It's like just short of 60 frames. It's at whatever double 29.97 is.
Right.
You know, that's weird. Anyways. So, the new releases. There's a lot of stuff coming out this week.
Yeah, and a lot of his shit.
Well, Rock of Ages 2, whatever that game. It's called The Bigger and Bolder, and the boulder's like the boulder, because you're a rock that's rolling. The first game was kind of silly, but they're making another one for current consoles. And we have news about it, too. And we'll talk about it later.
So I definitely think Everybody's Golf is probably the best release.
Oh, yeah, sure. I have a little 30-second video
that
of
is
it here.
It was rebranded, correct? Like that was
yes.
bought. In North America, it was called
Hot Shots Golf.
Hot Shots, yes.
Yes. It's Everybody's Golf everywhere else.
Yeah.
In Japan, if you play it in English, it's Everybody's Golf.
Yeah.
I guess it translates to Everybody's Golf. If you do the translation. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a Hot Shots Golf game. I think it's $40, so it's probably like 50 here, which is reasonable, I suppose. Mario and Rabbids came out this week, though, on the Switch. That's pretty substantial if you have a Switch, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot of people had issue with the depth of the game, like that you always had to have Mario.
Oh yeah, of course. Come on.
And like you had you always had to have a Rabbids and a Mario, and then like you really only had like minimal levels up, like leveling up capabilities.
Hey, well,
so by the end of the game, everyone was pretty much playing the exact same character.
That's what you
like an
get.
XCOM.
I don't know what to say about that. That's what you get.
Yeah, well, XCOM you can customize quite extensively. So they're comparing it to XCOM opposed to Nintendo game.
Well, it's XCOM's light.
And that is actually the comparison that, like, if you've never played XCOMs before, play this. If you like this, then go to XCOM.
Oh yeah, because what were you expecting? It's a Mario game. It's like saying Super Mario RPG isn't hard enough, man.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, from what I've heard, is pretty much exactly what I expected. It's a good game. It's just simplified.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Why not?
So, which it's a Mario game, so of course it's going to be simplified at this point in time.
The re-release of Windjammers is coming out on PS4 and Vita. That's the Neo Geo game. Where
there's a lot of those this week or this month.
Or this year in general. Because ever since they announced this thing was official, everybody's like, oh my god, let's release our thing. We've been working on this.
Yeah.
Sonic Mania is actually out on PC this week. That's in the news too, so we'll bring that up again.
And that came out, what, a month ago or
2
weeks ago?
I think it's 2
weeks. Okay.
Yeah. Warriors All Stars, which is Warriors, but Dynasty Warriors, but with like a bunch of Koei characters in there. Which Koei's not. It's nobody that we know. It's extremely Japanese. It's on the PS4, Vita, and the PC. Life is Strange, the first episode of the sequel, Before the Storm.
And that'd be my number 2 of the, because Life is Strange, the first one was.
This is like a prequel, right?
Yes.
Okay. PC, PS4, Xbox. It's on everything.
And like it's definitely not. Like I think you're the same character, or that character's in the story, but I don't know if you're.
I don't think you're the same character. I don't think you're playing the same character.
I do believe that character is in the story, though.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
Because I remember hearing about the voice actors from the first one. Is not
whatever her powers are, she doesn't have them in this one yet.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell, the rewinding time or whatever the hell.
Yeah,
it was.
She ended up, I think, having a few. But
Resident Evil Revelations. Say that 3 times over and not try to say rewind in there.
I don't understand why they would be making
a 3DS game, a PS4 and Xbox One game.
Yeah.
They did that with the other ones. Whatever. I think it's $20, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, if you've never played them, whatever, play them. The stories are good on those games, I hear. That's why they probably poured them. It's like, hey, we can do it for cheap.
Well, I'm sure it is
We're
cheap.
Capcom, we have no other games.
I highly doubt they're only charging $20 for it though.
It's $20 American. Come on, it's a fucking 3DS game on a goddamn...
I don't care. It's freaking Capcom.
No, they're not... I'm telling you, it's $20. Every time you down me on this shit, I'm always right.
Okay, that's interesting.
What?
It's 50 on Switch and then 30 on the PS3 and Xbox One.
US or Canadian?
Canadian.
Okay, so $20 American.
But no, it's $20 more on the Switch.
Well, yeah, suck it. Suck it, Nintendo. But you can bring it portably, bro. You can bring it portably, man. It's worth $20. So yeah, that's it for new releases. But since we're doing a top 10 arcade games later, there you go. I'm foreshadowing that. It's coming up. It's coming up. Art of Fighting. You can get the anthology, which is 1, 2, and 3. Those are arcade they're Neo Geo games, I think. Yeah, good animations on those games. That's mainly what I remember about those games. It's kind of like what's the other game? King of Fighters. It kind of plays like King of Fighters at the end of the day. There's a bunch of King of Fighters people in there too. Anyways, let's go to the news of the week. There's not that much, but we'll cruise through this so we can get to the top 10 arcade games. So
snap!
Sonic Mania had DRM when they initially launched it. That didn't let you play offline. A lot of people were like, hey, fuck you, Sega. And Sega were like, okay, cool, you're right. Fuck us. And they changed it back to have no DRM at all. Well, back, I should say. They just changed it to have no DRM.
Changed to have no DRM. Yeah. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't fully understand why so many people have issues one way or the other.
Oh, if you have a laptop and you bring it on the plane or something and you don't have a good connection on...
You're not allowed bringing laptops on planes anymore.
Which ones?
On any plane, as far as I know. They did it in Canada as well. If you're going...
Could be a bomb, bro.
Exactly. So they think. I don't fucking know.
It'll be safe. It'll be safe if it's tucked underneath here.
Yeah.
You can't trigger it anyway. There's a Faraday cage down there. No radio signals getting in there. No way you can sneak somebody in there either. That doesn't happen.
Now, again, I am looking at this as a first world country type thing, because if you're in Brazil or fucking...
You'd be surprised how many people have laptops and tablets.
I'm just looking at it as the always connected issue. There's Wi-Fi everywhere. There's whatever. Like if this is being in Canada or in an actual city or whatever.
But if you're getting this on a tablet and you just want to play it on the road with a controller, you're not always on fucking connected.
This is referring to the PC.
Oh yeah, you can get tablets that would run this 100%. 100%. It's on Steam.
No, I'm not saying that it wouldn't on a tablet. You're talking like
there's Windows tablets, bro.
Yeah, you're talking Surface.
Yeah, they would totally run Sonic Mania, no issue.
I don't actually call those tablets technically because they're not.
They're Windows tablets.
They're touch screens.
They're Windows tablets. That's what they are. That's what they are.
But they're running Windows, so they're not exactly. They are a PC with a touch screen.
It's still a tablet.
With a keyboard attached to it.
It's still a tablet, mofo. It's still a tablet. Yes, it is. You don't know what a tablet is. You clearly don't know. You know what a tablet is? It's like a stone. You know what those stone tablets are? It's like this. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, except it's all electronic and cool now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, some Windows phones just have Windows on it. They're still fucking phones. Anyways.
Well, they would be a special OS for the phone. It's not fully.
No, the Windows 10. They're all Windows 10. Everything runs Windows 10 now. Well, everything.
You're not opening up a desktop and having a desktop on the thing.
No, but you can go to, you can switch back and forth between shit. You can go to the app view right now on your PC if you want to. And there's a lot of stuff that probably runs better in that app mode too. Fucking Windows 10. Anyways, hey, the original Xbox One discontinued this week.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that it didn't like when they brought out the S. Wouldn't that have just discontinued the previous?
No,
XCOM?
I wonder how much they had. I wonder if they stopped production a little bit ago and they're running through it. And then
Like they're just okay. Yeah, we shipped out the last ones we had in stock in our factory or wherever. Okay, that I can understand.
Yeah, because it's discontinued. They didn't say that they stopped manufacturing. I'm sure they stopped manufacturing a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I guess it's
you
just
can't buy this new anywhere, probably.
Yeah.
Or
you won't in the next week.
Yeah. Yes. If you find one, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Or quote unquote lucky. I would just get the S.
Yes. The S works much better apparently. Much cooler.
Much cooler. It's smaller. It's cooler looking. You can get it in white. It's a pretty good deal. Hey, Apple. That Apple thing. Talk about black and white things that look sleek and all right. The thing is that the 7 is Huh?
There's Apple Black.
Yeah, you can get black iPhones.
Okay, I've never seen one.
What? I have my iPhone's black.
Okay.
Look.
Anywhere time I've ever seen it in the movie or whatever, it's always like silver or white.
Well, yeah, that's because everybody's a douchebag. I'm gonna get the rose gold one. Ooh, look at me.
Yes, I've seen that one too. Something. Would it be? Yeah, sure. It was gold. I guess I've seen a gold
So
one.
the iPhone 7, they have one that's red. It's just fucking red. It looks pretty cool. I'm gonna give
metallic red or just painted or
painted red. I guess. I guess it would have to be metallic, but it looked pretty good. I don't really like the iPhone 7 that much though. So hey, they're probably gonna announce the iPhone 8 at this thing. Yeah. September 12th is when they're holding it in Cupertino, California. What? Cupertino
is the way I would read that if that's typed correctly.
Sure. I'm not. It's California. There's a lot of weird places.
Yeah, no, that's correct. I'm just curious on where this is relative to.
So apparently,
it's just outside of San Jose.
Apparently, they're doing what Androids are doing with their phones. Like the whole front is a screen. Quote unquote.
So they're wrapping and all that, yeah.
Yeah. So because the thing about iPhones now is it's still I think it's 75% is a screen, and there's still a lot of fucking border around it. All right. Hey, Puzzle Fighter got announced. It's an iOS and Android game. Puzzle Fighter. Does that sound familiar to you? If I just say Puzzle Fighter.
Maybe there's something I'm thinking. What am I thinking?
I don't know. What could you be thinking? I just had the picture.
Okay, I know what puzzle. Yeah, okay. I remember the Ryu shit.
There was a Street Fighter puzzle game. I think
I was thinking Puzzle Quest is what I was.
Oh, okay.
But offhand, but then I saw the Ryu and then I'm like, okay, I know what you're talking about.
But they're putting everybody in here. Mega Man's in there, Dante, that girl from is that Resident
I have no idea
Evil?
who she is.
I forget who she is, and then Morgan, of course. Chun-Li's in there. But hey, it looks like a Puzzle Fighter game or whatever. I forget what that game was called. Super Puzzle Fighter? Something like that.
That probably be pretty damn close.
Haggard's in there because you unlock him apparently. There's who else is there? I couldn't see at the top. The sumo dude. I'm blanking. Bison. I can't tell who the other guys are. Oh, hey, there you go. He's right there, Bison. And there you go. I don't know. Hey, Dan is there, and dude from Dead Rising, the second game though. I don't know. I'm not into the second game as much.
I don't. It was the exact same fucking gameplay, anyways. But
but the dude was different.
Yes.
I gotta save my daughter.
He was a
man.
dad. Yeah. You gotta save my daughter. She needs that Zamorex or whatever.
She'll turn into a zombie, man.
And then I'm gonna have to crush her head in because she's a zombie.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's a sad story. It's just it didn't work in that game. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, issue that I have with those games is the time shit.
The last game didn't really. They took that out, right?
Well, they add it into the hardcore mode or whatever, so you can still select it. But then in the regular mode, it's not like that.
I think you might have to beat it to get that hardcore mode.
Okay, that's possible as well.
I think that game was short.
They re-released the second game with Frank West in it, and it didn't have the time. You could have the time mode or just have the game. which I played the shit out of that.
I see. Yeah. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Those games.
Pretty much.
Long time ago, they were good. All right. I really like the first one. So Capcom is working with IM8-bit to release a 5,500 SNES carts that have Street Fighter 2 on them. So that's cool. They're red as well. I should have gotten the picture, but whatever. It's just a Super Nintendo cart that's red. Those existed. I think Doom, the cart, was red on the Super Nintendo. Forget what else. But anyways, so 5,500 of these. I think they were $100 US. So you're going to pay a pretty penny. They work. You can play them in the Super Nintendo. But it's funny. They had this quote about it in their press release. It said, use of this reproduction game cartridge on the SNES gaming hardware may cause the SNES console to overheat or catch fire.
Holy shit.
The SNES hardware is deemed a vintage collectible, blah, blah, blah. That's the only reason they gave out that warning. Yeah. So, your SNES could explode with any game.
Holy shit.
Your SNES could literally explode with any game right now. Theoretically.
I suppose that's, it's fucking 80. Well, the Japan one was 85. Oh, no, SNES, sorry.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo was here, 93?
Well, I know, but I'm thinking Japan was 90 or 90.
Well, yeah, but that's a Japanese one. It's not the same thing, man. The SNES is not the Super Famicom, man. Come on. It's totally different. You could actually get the Japanese games and just break that little tab in the Super Nintendo, and then you could play Japanese games on just a regular Super Nintendo. They had basically no region locking on there except for the physical tab that was in there. Anyways. Right. So that's that news story. I thought that was pretty funny that they were warning that your SNES could explode.
It was November 90. It was in Japan. And
how about here? 92, 93?
NA is 91.
91,
and the rest of the world
damn.
Was 92.
All right. So, man, weird other retro news here. Metroid Samus Returns, that 3DS game that they're working on. Mm-hmm. So, they're going to have a reversible box thingy, the sleeve on the box art, the actual like physical paper. You can turn it over, and then it's just Metroid 2 Game Boy looking box art. It's pretty cool. It's not exactly Metroid 2. It is kind of based on it, but it's not exactly that game either. But that's cool. I don't know what else to say about it. Hey, if you get that game, I would totally reverse it. Hey, I had no idea about this, but the NBA 2K series last year introduced multiple like teams of commentators, so they would rotate out. I
do remember some because they had Shaq in there.
Oh, okay. So he was like a guest that would come on games occasionally.
And then, people found it hilarious that the shit that he would say, and then because it's Shaq. Like, come on, like he's a weird motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Love him, but he's a weird motherfucker.
He says a lot of dumb stuff. Just in regular life, being a commentator on basketball right now too. Yeah. So anyways, they got Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett to do it this time around. I don't know about Kobe Bryant, but Kevin Garnett seems like a smart dude. Every time I've seen him, he seems like an upstanding champion.
I don't know. Yeah, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant's just a champion. I don't know about upstanding.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say anything about him because I don't really know. I don't know any of these dudes. I know Kevin a little bit more though.
I know Kobe likes some young girls.
Well, who doesn't, man?
They were legal, but
doesn't.
Damn, they were young.
Who doesn't? But yeah, sure. Super young. It's kind of another thing. So after 27 years of jaunty tunes on The Simpsons, longtime composer Alf Clausen has been fired from the show, and the only reason he was really given is we want new music on The Simpsons, which seems like a weird choice to fire him. So expect, I guess maybe they'll hire somebody and they'll just do the same music.
What the fuck is all I can say about that.
Yeah, like that. The Simpsons music
is like the Simpsons are still going on is just stupidly asinine. If anyone I have not watched an episode of The Simpsons, I'm probably
no, I've seen it lately. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
But it's still just the same shit, is it not? Like, how has it changed?
I don't know if it's changed, but it is. There's some episodes that are genuinely pretty good. Still.
Now again, like, didn't one of the guys that did a bunch of characters left 2 years ago or something like that?
Yes.
The guy did Flanders and I want to say Mo.
I forget who it was. The thing about The Simpsons is the thing about The Simpsons is it's so popular that so many people can do those voices.
That's true.
You might have a harder time finding somebody that can do all of the voices.
In the show?
Oh, he has to be, but I'm pretty sure he still is.
Yeah. So
and Mo still has to be in there. Come on, but I don't remember which actor.
I want to say left. He did like Burns, Reverend Lovejoy, Flanders, Mo, and Apu.
I don't think the Apu dude left. I don't think it was Apu, because that's the only Simpsons dude that I know by face.
Yeah,
when I see him,
I thought it was him because he was the only one that I knew.
It's possible. It's possible because he actually acts and stuff.
Yeah, and he asked for more money, and then they said no.
But you can't give up. You can't give up Apu.
Yeah, well,
you got to piss off.
Well, the thing
you
is,
got
I'm
to piss
sure
off the sensitive
people that can do enough.
Oh yeah, Apu, sure. Nowadays, yeah.
Or whatever, and it would be a third of the price of.
Just get an actual Indian to do it this time. That would be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny.
Hilariously fucking horrible.
No, because dude, do you know how many Indians can do that voice? Pretty much all.
I know. I absolutely
pretty much all of them.
Get Russell Peters to come in and do it for 1 or 2 episodes. That'd be.
Mm-hmm. Then you can get Kumar to come in there, do it a little bit too. Because Kumar hates Apu, which is funny to me. Like, dude, you're a comedian. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people hate you because you're the weed dude. I'm sure he has a lot of backlash from
weed dude.
Yeah, Harold and Kumar. Come on.
I get that, but
I'm sure there's got to be some people that actually don't like him because he's in the drugs. We got to protect them from the children.
That's a different thing altogether.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But Apu's he's not even that bad. He's a good dude.
Most a couple of the Ganoush episode. There's been a couple of bad ones referring like within that character. Sure.
When he gets forced to get married. But that's funny. That episode's pretty funny. Anyways, and it ends up working out. They have 8 kids. It's all great.
Because everyone popped her freaking whatever. That's not quite the way it works, but hey, okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, she wasn't getting pregnant fast enough, bro. Okay. Anyways, there's a new Dragon Ball Z trailer out, and it features Super Saiyan God Goku.
Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, aka Super Saiyan Blue.
Yeah, blue. They have the blue hair.
Yeah.
Whoa, blue hair. That's unbelievable, bro.
It's God Key. Oh yeah, it's God Key.
It's dumb. I wonder if they'll ever fuse while they're Super Saiyan gods,
they did.
Oh, they did? I guess I missed that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they had to fight.
Oh, it was a movie.
Literal god. It was in the TV show.
The show. I see. Okay, well, I have not watched much of Super.
Yeah.
So that explains it, I suppose. I guess it would make sense that there's Saiyan gods in there. Why not? They've done it in the movies. It's like, no, there's Super Saiyan ones now. That's the height they can do in Super.
Yeah. Yes, they turned Saiyan God. In the movie it was the Saiyan God or whatever. Turned into a Super Saiyan while being a Saiyan God.
Yeah, didn't he need to be like 8 Saiyans or something like that to be the Super Saiyan God?
Yeah, they retconned that a little bit.
Oh, okay. Goku got powerful enough to do it on his own?
Well, Goku got the power from everyone else, but then Vegeta was able to do it by himself. Not by himself, wouldn't be quite the right. With the training of Whis. He went to train with Whis, and Whis got him to that level.
Sure, you're ruining everything for me, bro. Oh, man.
I don't know. The Universal Survivor arc's actually been pretty good.
Is that how many seasons is that in now? Is it still just 1 or 2?
Well, it's Japanese shit, so it's not really seasons. Yes. They're 105 episodes.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
But they do like 48 a year. So they've been doing it just for over 2 years.
Sticking to the... Oh, I said I was going to get the restream chat open. I guess I could just do that right now. Anyways, more Japanese news here. PlayStation, they're going to do their TGS event. That's the Tokyo Game Show. And it is scheduled for 4 p.m. Japanese Standard Time, Tuesday, September 19th, which means that's 3 a.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah.
Yep, well, it is in Japan. That's
that's
usually
what
how it goes down.
When they're in the future, we get fucked up.
Well, I love being on the East Coast because everything airs first here in terms of being in North America.
We're within North America, yeah. But as
So
soon as you get outside of North America...
I'm in the future in North America.
Newfoundland's ahead of you.
Yeah, there's technically time zones ahead of me, but I don't think they get shows ahead of me. I
have no fucking clue.
I don't think they do. Because if they did, somebody on the East Coast somewhere would get the shows online faster than everybody else.
Well, I'm sure they would have to be tuning into something that's on the East Coast. So they'd still be getting a New York feed or something like that.
Oh yeah, well, sure, that makes sense. They have to.
Or Boston or what the fuck, like whatever, like however.
And I guess Canada's the only one that do have the more Eastern time zones, because in the U.S. it pretty much stops.
Yes.
Right there.
I do think it is just East Coast for the U.S. They probably could have like something that's like a half an hour.
I have no idea. That's interesting.
Like once you get over to how far New Brunswick is and all that shit.
I think the last time I actually thought about this, I was like in high school. I was like, wait, what happens if you're in fucking Labrador and shit and New Brunswick and all that shit? What is that? Do you have to watch at the same time we do? Because what if it's live on the East Coast? Then they have to actually wait. But what if it's not? Is there prime time earlier?
If it's live, it's live.
Oh yeah. Well, not if you're on. A lot of people on the Pacific time get fucked with the live shit. Raw, like WWE Raw and WWE SmackDown, airs 3 hours later. In the Pacific time
I wouldn't
zone.
consider that live.
That's live, bro. That's 100% live. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's happening as we speak, or as we watch it. It's happening somewhere in some arena. All right. Hey, more Japanese news. Yakuza Kiwami 2 got leaked on PSN. I don't know. I think it was like an image or something. But anyways, it's actually coming out. It's confirmed now. I'm not exactly sure, but that's the second game that's getting like an HDified thing going on with it. They did it with the first game. That looked pretty all right. And then Knack, the number 2 game, is coming to the PlayStation. I think it's in a month, but the demo's out right now. Oh my god!
Yeah.
I could go play some Knack 2 right now. It's crazy.
Don't give a shit.
I mean, neither. Talk about another game that I don't really give a shit about, but it's still relevant. 800,000 concurrent users on Steam for Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
So it's surpassed everything except Dota, but it's really close to it. It's like behind by like 100. I think it's behind by like 10,000.
Well, at one point in time, it did actually take number 1 spot.
But I'm waiting for it to just, be steady above Dota.
Yes.
I'm not opposed to that. I am not opposed to a game being more popular than Dota.
Yeah, I don't really like. I definitely am more interested in Battlegrounds than I am Dota 2.
Yes, for sure. If there's a popular game I want to play, it's probably Battlegrounds. I still like Counter-Strike. I have Counter-Strike. I should just play Counter-Strike. That game's still pretty popular.
I never really liked Counter. I played it a bit or whatever, but I didn't really.
It depends who you play with. There's some people that I just get with that know how to play that game. I have a lot of fun playing the Go. Go was awesome. I liked it a lot when it was relevant. I get it's still relevant. It's weird.
Yeah,
Anyways.
There's people that play it and get monies.
Yep. So, more Steam Valve news here. Half-Life Episode 3 got not leaked, but the writer of it actually released it.
Yeah.
He was just like, I don't think they're going to give a shit.
Well, he called it fan fiction.
Gosh, I don't know how much I believe of that.
No. Well, it's not. Like, he called it fan fiction, and he changed all the names.
Oh yeah, yes.
Just slightly. So I can't remember. Like Gordon Freeman was like Gordon something stupid. Like he changed the name slightly so that you knew who the fuck it was.
Gordon with an E.
No, it was like the last name. I think he changed, or maybe he did change
sure.
both.
I didn't
But then
actually read it.
he pretty much detailed what the game happened, that they went up to the Arctic and then found some ship and then had to do something there, and then it ended on another cliffhanger. That Gordon was on a beach or something like that, and not knowing, you don't know what the fuck happened to the actual war itself, and then just ends.
I thought something with Alex and the G-Man maybe, or maybe they just ignored that entirely. I forget. But
Sorry, say that again.
The G-Man and Alex. I thought maybe there was something between them. Isn't Alex the girl's name?
Yes.
Yeah.
You mean just? I think that was more the community just wanting to have sex with the.
No, not sex. I mean, because that dude has a relationship with Gordon too, so people think that
Sorry.
Yeah, because the G-Man's connected with Gordon. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are thinking that he's going to be connected to Alex now. Based on this is what I heard. That's what I heard anyways.
I don't know about that, but I didn't read the article. I
don't know what to tell you. That's what I heard on the internets. Either way, whatever.
Yeah, I don't really care too much.
Yeah. Okay.
The point that they just ended on another cliffhanger to then start Half-Life 3. That you likely would not have been Gordon Freeman.
A lot of people are freaking out about this new Street Fighter V character. It's Minot, I suppose, is how you pronounce her name. She has a cool walking animation, which is a reason why people like her a lot. But she looks cool. She's like an Egyptian princess queen type character. But a lot of people are just like on Twitter sharing her walking animation and just like, look at this is pretty cool.
So what? She shows her ass off or something?
No, she just has like a very Egyptian like walk. Where I don't know, she's very show off with it, and she holds the globe in one hand, and like her legs are just like, she's like strutting. It's cool. You see it a few times in this video, but there's a lot of moves, so you don't see it as much. They should have just had a trailer where it's just her walking the whole time. I do love this level. This level's new. They just put it in like a month ago, I think, something like that.
Isn't this the level from Street Fighter 2?
Yes, it is a reused level from 2, which is a good level. Show her walking. Nah, they're not going to do it. But I guess this is the Rose of this game, because she has like a ball hovering around her. Rock of Ages 2. There's a bundle you could buy on PS4 right now, and it's listed as playable on PS4, which is only half right, because you can only play Rock of Ages 2. You cannot play Rock of Ages 1, which you are buying in this bundle. It's the only two things that come in this bundle. You cannot play it on the PS4. So make sure you have a PS3, I suppose. It would be nice if they would be just like, sorry, here's like a month of PlayStation Now. You can play it over there. I don't even think that game's on PS Now. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, though. And our last news item here, PlayStation VR Worlds, the bundle that came with the 2 controllers, the game, that is being cleared out, faded away. It's now $579 Canadian. I think that was 600, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was 600 here.
I want to say it was 650.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they're lowering it, so they're clearing them out. So now would be the time if you actually want to buy everything and you don't have the Move controllers.
I would
wait
for the new bundle.
Yeah,
if you don't have I already have the Move controllers, so I'd be more interested.
If you don't have it, it's a pretty good price to get it at, because it's $80 for a game and 2 controllers. It's kind of worth it. And then there's a new bundle that it will be replacing it. It's only going to include a camera, and it's $500 Canadian dollars. Well, only the camera and the headset, obviously, but yeah. I don't know what to think about this. Whatever. It's still expensive.
Yes, and that's the issue that I have with it. Of like, what is like you spend $500 Canadian, so what the fuck can you actually do with it? Play 4 games that are actually reasonably good.
Yep.
And that's to interpretation. Like, if you don't like Resident Evil, then Resident Evil going to be a good game for you.
I don't know.
Oh, I know, but if you don't like Resident. If you don't like horror games or whatever, like if you don't
Resident
like
Evil is like the
Outlast
one
and-
game that I guess you could get it for, right? It's like the one game that's a game.
Yeah, there's two. There's Farpoint and Resident Evil
Oh,
that are.
Farpoint looks kind of. Eh.
Farpoint and Resident Evil 7 are the two best PlayStation VR games.
I suppose.
I
suppose.
Whoever,
Drive
because they're
Club.
both actual games.
I might argue Drive Club.
Yeah, but Drive Club. Well, I guess Resident Evil you can also just play, can't you? You don't need VR.
No, you don't need VR. Yeah.
Okay.
But that VR mode looks
Drive
pretty
Club
cool.
again. You can. Yes. So. And then Rally. I would probably prefer the Rally over the Drive Club.
Rally, that's
because
only a
it's Rally.
PC game. I don't think Dirt
No,
has a PSVR mode.
There
does it?
is. I'm quite sure there's a Rally.
Oh, all right. Well, then that
Which
could
one
be okay.
or whatever, I don't know. But I was just looking at games, and there was a Rally.
I know. If there is, that's awesome. That's a game to get on VR because those games are fun without the VR, anyways. So, okay. Sorry, I'm just typing in the password for the chat room, which is different from every other password I type. So, I actually have to think about it. Okay, so I think that'll do it for our regular schedule here on Fresh Air. And now we're gonna go on to the top 10, which is top 10 arcade games of all time, of ever. Any arcade games, anything you've actually played in an arcade. That's when I count.
Well, that was my thing on that. I had to have played it in arcade.
For sure,
not
me
just
too.
Something being ported.
Me
after
too.
the fact.
Everything, because here's the thing. This is my top 10. I'm not going like, this is the best game ever.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, that's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying this is the best game that I played in an arcade that I just had the most fun with. And it's a top 10 list. Okay, so I'm going to throw out some honorable mentions real quick because I have a lot of them. I'm just gonna rattle them off. Star Wars, it had an awesome vector colored screen that looked fucking amazing. If you ever played that game, Star Wars, you were like in the trench.
Unless you're epileptic and then it gave you seizures.
Oh yeah, sure. Then don't do that. DDR and In the Groove, they're basically the same game. You dance, they're all right. Mario Kart is the game that I have on this list that is the newest. I think came out in 2005. It is Japanese. It is Japanese. Namco made them, and Pac-Man is in it. It's fucking sick. It's my favorite Mario Kart. It's
Definitely
by far.
never saw that even like in any arcade I'd ever been to. I never saw Mario Kart.
They had it in Scarborough, and I played it somewhere else. There's 3 of them. There's 3 Mario Kart GPs, all developed by Namco for the arcades. The other ones had other Namco characters in them. I forget which ones. But Pac-Man. Fucking Pac-Man was in them. And you could race as a ghost, too. It's pretty cool. WWF WrestleMania. That was the 16-bit game that was also on the Super Nintendo. And they looked like Mortal Kombat characters. And you could, when Undertaker did a tombstone, I'm pretty sure like a tombstone would actually raise up. Or no, he just had a tombstone that would pop out of nowhere and you could hit him with a tombstone. Yeah. That game was pretty alright. Crazy Taxi, honorable mention. That game was just fun. I don't know how playable it is still in 2017, but you know, it's a fun game. League Bowling was an SNK game. You just bowled. There you go. NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Everybody knows what that is. NBA Jam, and it was awesome. TMNT, any TMNT game. Shout outs to those games. Not on my list though. Smash TV had like the 2 cool dual joystick setup, and you would shoot a lot of things in every direction. That game is cool. Super Offroad is on my list just because that cabinet was so awesome, and I just remember it so much. The game is okay. It's like an overhead thing. Anyways, Pango. It's a game where you're a penguin, I think, and there's other penguins that are attacking. They're blobs. They're like blobs and ice cubes. You push the ice cubes around. It's an overhead thing. It's old school. I have a video of it on the YouTube if you want to go look it up. Actually, Mega Scorcher TV on YouTube. Pango. All right, and then here I have a few notes for these games. Dig Dug and Pole Position. Those games I played a lot with my mom. They were just fun. Pole Position is an F1 racing game kind of, and Dig Dug. If you don't know what Dig Dug is, I don't know what to tell you. Track and Field. That's a game where you push buttons fast to make a dude do track and field events. And I played that with my dad a lot. Afterburner had a cabinet that tilted around. I never saw that cabinet, but I'm just going to point it out. I did see a lot of Afterburner cabinets, which were also cool because you did sit down in them. But Afterburner is the flying game from Sega, and you're like flying and it looks 3D. It's 2D, but it kind of looks 3D.
I've played it.
Yeah, Space Invaders. That's just old. That game is cool because of how many variants exists. There's like black and white versions. There's monochromatic versions, which is monochromatic means like there's color, but it's like a static color. So like this part of the screen is always yellow. This part of the screen is always green. This part of the screen is always orange. It's weird. That's how they programmed it.
Well, the monochromatic is there's one color and then void of color. So you'd have a color and black.
Okay, well I forget what that was called, but they had those things where that color was always on that part of the screen. And then they had full color versions. They had versions where you would set it up on top of a table. They had versions where it was a cocktail table itself. And then, they had stand-up versions. Like Space Invaders is just one of the games where you'll see it everywhere, and there's so many versions of it. It's crazy. All right, Street Fighter 2. Okay, so the reason a Street Fighter game is not in my top 10 is because all my Street Fighter experience is all on consoles. Like, anytime I saw a Street Fighter machine, I was always alone or with somebody that sucked, so I couldn't play with them. So it was super rare that I got an opportunity to play Street Fighter with people. In Toronto, I got to play Alpha with some people that were pretty good, but besides that, I'd never actually walked into an arcade and played Street Fighter. Ice Cold Beer was a mechanical game where you had to like move a bar that would move a ball around holes, and then you would have to go into a specific hole. So it's kind of like the boards where they're you could buy where they're flat, and you would play with dials, and you would move around in the maze. It's kind of like that, but it's vertical, and you're moving a bar up across the screen with a ball on it. It's pretty cool. Anyways, and The Simpsons. It's pretty cool. Beat 'em up. That's all I can say about it. It's kind of like TMNT, but it's The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Smithers was still black in that game. That's how old that game is. It's fucking old. Anyways, that's it. It's my honorable mentions. Do you have any?
I got one honorable mention. You've already mentioned it. Space Invaders.
Yep.
It was the first arcade game I remember playing. It was at Meadowville 4 Ranks in Saga, and there was like a bar lounge thing there, and I was like 4 or 5.
What were you doing there? Were you playing hockey or something?
I would either have been playing hockey myself or my brother was playing, and then I was just not watching him play because he sucked.
Oh, I see. Man, I don't have the top 10 overlay. Oh well, whatever. This is the top 10 arcade games. If you're just joining us, we're just starting it right now with our number 10s here. I'll go first, I guess.
Sure.
All right. So my top 10 here is going to start with a game called Title Fight. Whoops. Oh man. I was forward a couple pictures there. But anyways, Title Fight was cool. Not only did it visually look nice in terms of the gameplay and all that, the graphics, but you played it with like 2 joysticks that kind of looked like you were holding like boxing gloves or something. And that was kind of like the appeal that drew you in. And you could actually play 2 players, which was pretty dope. But it was an actual cool looking game, and I'll show some gameplay footage off here too.
It was essentially Punch-Out, but you had
it was kind of like Punch-Out for sure. Sure, Super Punch-Out, let's say that. But it was more 3D because you could move everywhere in the ring. It moved like the background looked like it moved. You weren't just standing in one space and the dude was jumping off the ropes and all that. It looked like a legit boxing game. And the gameplay was kind of weird because of you had 2 analog joysticks pretty much. That was how you controlled it. It was weird, but it was fun. And I remember it. This was my favorite game in the North Bay Mall. And if you're there, that is not there anymore. And the theater that was there is not there anymore either. So it's all gone. So there you go. That's my number 10, Title Fight. It was a Sega game. It's pretty cool.
Well, My number 10 was Crazy Taxi. Didn't really play that many arcade games, to be honest. Like, I did play them at arcades, or play a lot of arcade games, but it was typically like really just my top 4 or 5 games. So filling out a full top 10 was just kind of weird, because a lot of the games were meh, as far as I'm concerned, as actual arcade games, because I was much more so of spending my money on actual cartridges and shit like that. Anyways, Crazy Taxi was just, it's Crazy Taxi. It's doing weird, stupid shit and trying to get from point A to point B as fast as you can while trying to somehow stay on the fucking road.
Well, yeah, so that's the thing about this game is I played it on the Dreamcast, so that's kind of why it didn't make my top 10.
Well, I actually played this a fair bit in the arcade.
Oh, hey, I believe it.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely play this a lot on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, I didn't have a Dreamcast, but yeah, well, my friend did, and we did play it, but we also played a bunch of other shit as well.
Yep, I like the Dreamcast a lot. It's like one of my favorite systems, mainly because I played a lot of games on it. Totally not illegally. Totally legally, man, I swear.
He's lying.
All right, so that's your number 10.
Yep.
My number 9 now is, hey, another racing game or driving game, let's say. It's Outrun from Sega, and I actually played this stand-up version of it a lot. I did not play the sit-down version. It was just like in a corner store in like 92 or something. I was super young when I played. I could barely see above the steering wheel. I was a pretty short dude back when I played this. And the pedals were on the ground. You had a high speed and a low speed. You wanted to stick on the low speed to start off, but then you went to the high speed to get super fast. And yeah, Outrun, if you've never heard of it, I don't have no footage of this game because it's...
If you haven't heard of Outrun, then I don't know.
There's a bazillion
then you're either
version...
too young to know what an arcade is, or...
Well, there's literally a bazillion versions of this game. Like, there's new ones. Yeah. The new ones look fucking amazing, the cabinets. They're cool. You should play the new Outruns if you have not seen them and you see them. Do it.
Yeah. I don't think there's actually a single proper arcade in Calgary. Crazy. Like, there's ones at movie theaters or whatever, but those are just horribly crap pieces of shit.
Well, it depends. If it's Cineplex usually has a few arcade games that are legitimately cool. Usually.
Like at the ones by me, not really, no.
Weird. Usually, I find that
they got like Deer Hunter, and like they do have a couple of arcade games, but
there's a bowling alley here that has a Sopranos pinball machine, and what was the arcade game that was fucking badass? They had another, I'd forget. They had two cool things there. They had like a machine where you played beer pong for tickets. Weird. It's weird. Anyways, yeah, that's my number 9. Outrun.
My number 9 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, also known as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game on this NES.
Yes.
I played it at Chuck E. Cheese way the fuck back whenever the fuck that would have been. That would have been like fucking 88 or 89. And then I saw it that it was on the SNES or on the NES, and I would not shut up. My parents just ended up giving in eventually on my birthday and getting me the fucking game because I would not shut the fuck up about it. And then holy shit, I played that game a lot. I played it a lot on the NES, but I do remember playing it in the arcade or at Chuck E. Cheese, which was one of the better arcades at the time.
I do remember playing a lot of this, but I don't know. I was fairly young. And I played a lot on the Nintendo, so yeah. I do love this game. It's just I didn't play it all that much in the arcade.
But I played it a fair bit. Like at the ages, I guess I was about 6-ish. Would have been around the time, and then so at that point in time in 89 or so, Ninja Turtles was fucking everything. And yeah,
the Turtles are still rad right now.
Yeah, I know.
Despite
like
Michael Bay fucking them up, they're still pretty alright.
Yeah, because those movies aren't bad. They're not good either. They're kind of...
Well, the first movie's still weird because there's not that much of a storyline in it. It's just like, here's the Turtles. They're the kids of this rat dude. And Splinter's this dude that we don't see that often. Oh my god, he's here. Done.
Well, it's all about their creation or whatever. So it's whatever.
But there's not that much story. It's
Japanese.
just weird.
No, of course not. It's a fucking Michael Bay movie.
I know, but it's fucking TMNT, man.
Well, even in the first like actual live action thing, there wasn't much of a story.
What are you, dude? There
was the foot.
No, what are you talking about? They fuck up. Is it Donatello they fuck up in that one? Who did they fuck up?
It was Raphael.
They fuck up Raph. That movie is awesome. That movie is awesome.
But they fucked up. Raph took on Shredder by himself and got fucked up in the new one. Like what?
Yeah, Raph. Sure, he's a hothead. But the first movie was awesome. I don't know about you, but
no, I'm not saying it wasn't awesome, but there wasn't much story.
They developed the hate between Shredder and Splinter better, I feel, in that movie too. I don't know. I could just be biased.
In the first one?
Yes.
Like what? No.
Yes, because he was in the cage and he swipes his face. He's like, ah.
Oh yeah, that 13 millisecond image.
Yeah,
and then he
that's
comes
all
out
you
at the
needed.
end with some nunchucks and throws him off a building into a garbage
heap. That is all you needed. That was awesome.
That
was awesome.
Okay. It's all bad story. It's just fucking Mutant Ninja Turtles beating the fuck
It's more story than the fucking Michael Bay movie. That's all I can say about it.
Okay. So you're number 8.
Yeah. DJ Max Technica 3. It's a
never heard of it.
It's a rhythm game from Korea.
That'd probably be why.
There you go. That's what it looks like. It's a touch screen based game that you can actually get on iPhones and iPads and Androids and all that. Android's 100% because this is from Korea, dude. So of course it's going to be on Android. It kind of plays like what can I describe it at? What's that DS game that Elite Beat Agents? That's exactly what it plays like. You have 2 bars on the screen that are swiping back and forth, and you got to push the buttons at the same time as it's crossing over. You got a few different buttons that do different things. And I really love how the music is actually connected to the buttons you're pressing. Because even if you go play easy and you play hard, you actually like notice the difference between the music. It's actually kind of cool. So yeah, that's my number 8. The first time I heard this, that cabinet is goddamn impressive. Here, I'm just gonna go back to it. There's 2 screens. There's one for people to watch you play, and then there's another where you play on. And holy shit, those speakers are loud. That's a pretty cool cab. Anyways, there you go. That's my number 8. I felt like I was going to go too obvious if I picked DDR or something, but I fucking love DJ Max Technica. So there you go.
My number 8 is, I'm calling it Street Fighter just as the general blanket.
Well, it's Street Fighter 2.
Yes, sorry. Street Fighter 2. Just as a blanket for all the Street Fighter 2s, because I'm sure I played more than one of them. It was around for fucking a decade, probably in most arcades. So it was just which one I was directly playing. I don't particularly remember. I'm sure there was multiple.
Yeah, no. The thing about Street Fighter 2 is that there's a bazillion versions, and you can't really tell.
I'm pretty sure I played the first one, the original.
So the original has 8 characters.
And then I'm pretty sure Super was the other one that I played multiple times.
I want to say I played all of them. I always played them alone. I played them one time. I was like, oh, hey, that was cool.
I don't know. They all just kind of blend together. We're talking too long ago to actually know.
The music's all the same. Most of the characters are the same until you get the Championship Edition. So yeah.
But yeah, so Street Fighter 2 for quite obvious reasons, like it is.
Yep. Hey, the music's amazing in that game. Some of the best Capcom shit ever. It's a good game. That's for
Blanca
sure.
for the win. Blanca for the fucking win.
One of the best track modes in a video game because it's a fighting game that just plays itself. And you're just like, oh, hey, cool. Blanca's doing his electric thing. Nice. Maybe I might play this. So my number 7 is Disks of Tron. So at first I was like, this game sucks. It totally sucks. But I put it on my list for 2 reasons. The game is actually way better than I remembered it. but the cabinet was fucking amazing. It was so dope. You stepped in it, and there's like black light and purple lights and blue lights all over the fucking thing. It's fucking amazing. And the game had like a standard default like looking 80s screen. It looked like an 80s game. Like I'll show it in a second, but like you could see a background behind it. You know, like there's like a I don't know how the screen worked. I guess there was like a reflection in the mirror. And there's like a double mirror, and you could like see a background of like Tron world behind it. Had an interesting look that you can't really replicate in an emulator. But man, yeah, no, and then they had some that they cut off the back part, so it's only the front part. And it's still still badass. It's still an awesome cabinet. Here, I'll play the gameplay for a second, so just so you can get the gist. So. Oh, and I didn't show the controls. I'll show how what the controls actually looked like. So you controlled the aiming with a disc, and then you would control your character with a joystick. And then there was a button on the joystick where you would throw your discs. And then, yeah, it was cool. You would just jump. He would jump manually. Or, sorry, he would jump automatically. So there was no jumping button. He would just go across the 3 pads automatically. Here, I'll show what the controls actually looked like. There you go. There's a purple light behind there. It was badass. That's a joystick. There's the little puck is the way you control your aiming. And yeah, it was fucking awesome. This game was awesome. I liked it a lot. So there you go. That's my number 7.
My number 7 is pretty much the same as my number 9, but updated. I played a shit ton more of this in the actual arcade. So that would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4. Turtles in Time, again at Chuck E. Cheese.
I've only been there one time, and I was pretty old. Well, yeah, older.
But this is again like we're talking probably like 92 or something like that. So this is when like arcades were big. So Chuck E. Cheese had, I guess, a lot of younger kid games plus the ticket games and all that shit. So they had some of the better arcades in our area anyways. Yeah, I remember actually just going to Chuck E. Cheese to play this game. My toes! Because it was close enough to our house that I could actually get there being 8 or 9 years old during the summer with my brother.
And video games probably didn't cost $1 bazillion yet, so.
Yeah. Yeah, like just a shit ton of fun. This is probably the first arcade game I actually personally went there by myself or whatever without my parents and went to play.
Sweet. Yeah, I like that game. I just beat 'em ups nowadays. Talking about beat 'em ups, hey, that's my number 6. I have a beat 'em up. I have one. It's called X-Men. And the reason I picked X-Men is because there was a 6-player cabinet that was fucking badass. It was such a badass cabinet. There was two 4x3 screens in there, so it was a super wide screen, and you would actually pick your character by which joystick you would play.
Yeah, I remember that. Everyone tried to get the fucking Wolverine, those bastards.
I don't care about Wolverine. He didn't even have the best super moves, but the super moves used your health, so they were worthless anyways.
Yeah.
But I think the best super move was actually Storm, because I think she took down the whole fucking screen almost, or people around her. Because what's his name? Cyclops is just the beam in front of him. It's kind of meh. Yeah. And then Wolverine wasn't that great either. Wolverine's cool. In this game, he's not the.
I remember useful. Julie being fucking horrible.
Julie is Dazzler. Is that what?
Bedazzler, yeah, whatever. Okay, yeah, I can't.
Whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was because they are two different characters.
She is cool in this game. I do like her in this game, but yeah, whatever. She's whatever. But man, this game and the cabinet was huge.
Yes,
it was so huge in person. It was amazing. I played this in the Ottawa Midway, and it's actually still there. The Midway is actually still there. I have no idea what arcade machines that you have, if they still do, but it's cool. You can go-karting there and stuff. There's a bunch of stuff to do there. But anyways, that's it. That's my number 6, X-Men.
My number 6, you mentioned it in your honorable mentions, was Super Offroad.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I love this fucking game. It was at West Mall Arena, and I played the living shit out of it. I it was one of the games that, like, if you win, you keep playing or whatever. So,
yes.
Like
Like
I
all
just went.
good
I
games.
was probably 10 years old, and I just kept fucking playing. Like I won every fucking match. Like I could play that game for like 45 minutes to an hour straight, just without having to actually fucking put in any more money in.
Yeah, you could get good at this game, whipping the fucking steering wheel around corners and shit. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, timing and I just got so good at it that I could just fucking play that fucking game and just wreck people.
Do I have a video for this? I don't think I do. No, I do not.
Yeah. And the point, it was the 3-player control thing, and then they had the 1 computer player.
Mm-hmm. No, it was awesome.
It was
I love playing this with my dad and my uncle. I remember doing that, and there's an arcade in Ottawa that still has it right now, which you can go check out. It's called House of Targ, if you're ever in Ottawa. All right. My number 5 is a WWF WrestleFest. This game was awesome. I loved it. I played it a really long time ago in Ottawa, actually. And I the thing about playing this game is I have no idea where that arcade was when I did play it. It was like 96 or something, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. And it was just a wrestling game where you had 2 modes, I believe, a tag team tournament mode, and then you also had a Royal Rumble mode, which the Royal Rumble mode, to be honest, was the less in-depth mode of the 2. The tag team mode tournament, you actually progressed through matches and it got harder and shit. The Royal Rumble kind of got harder because you had a limited health bar and then you could recharge it by putting more quarters in it. But it was just, in terms of, I think this was the first Royal Rumble match mode in a game. And it was badass. It was badass. But, man, these sprites were so big. They looked so good. They looked exactly like who they were supposed to. You know exactly who all these 4 dudes are if you watched wrestling back in the day. It's, Demolition and Axe and Hulk Hogan and Jake the Snake. I don't need, there's no name tags anywhere. I just know that. They look, all the sprites in this game look good. And yeah, it was a hell of a game. That's all I can say about it. It was fun. They inspired a lot of games nowadays too. Like if you play an old school wrestling game, odds are it kind of plays like this game. Odds are. All right, there you go. That's my number 5.
My number 5 was your number 6. So X-Men.
Yes.
That again was at actually West Mall Arena. And then there was also one at the Aaron Mills Town Center, one for a while. So I actually played it at 2 different places. One by myself, which kind of was fun to the point that actually sometimes I was there and I just have the arcade to myself, or the whole thing to myself.
Well, the thing about the 2 screens put together is it looked amazing, and the explosions in this game looked fucking rad because it took up like the whole fucking screen. It's fucking dope. This game, I do love it a lot. We also have a video of us playing it on the website. It's cool. It's like the screen is wider than 16:9. It's fucking awesome. I love this game.
Yeah. I'm going to have to pause for like 10 minutes.
Sure. Sure. I suppose I can do my top 4 and then you can come back.
If that's what you want, I don't know.
I guess so. I guess I'm just going to do that.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I'm going to pause or mute my shit.
Yeah, sure. I can do it at my end.
Oh, okay.
All right. Just
have fun with that.
Yep. All right, so my number 4 is a game called Magician Lord. A little game called Magician Lord. And the cabinets for this game were weird because they weren't exactly like cabinets, because they were Neo Geo, like the multicade things that they had where you could put like a bunch of games in it. I think my local arcade that I played it at, well, it wasn't even an arcade, sorry. This was a corner store that was not far from my school when I was in elementary. So I played this a really, really long time ago, and I could play this pretty much any time I wanted after school. It was quarters only, and I got so good at the game that I could pretty much play it for hours. So I got there at school after school at like 4-ish, maybe like 3:50, and then I would just play this forever. And I noticed that my mic was hot. I got to fix that. My soundboard, it's just I don't know what happened. My settings are all different, but there you go. I fixed it. Anyways. So Magician Lord, here I'll play some gameplay because the arcade cabinet's not all that exciting to look at. But the cabinet was cool because it had multiple games. And to be honest, the games that were on the Magician Lord cabinet that I had in my hometown, I don't even freaking remember what the hell games were on this side. I remember there was a 2D side-scrolling game, shoot 'em up, that was not Metal Slug. Because if it was Metal Slug, I would have remembered. I don't remember what it was. It's a pretty cool game, but Magician Lord were just fucking badass. Where this magician shooting, pretty much reuse Hadoukens, I guess is how I would describe it. And then you would find chests that would pretty much transform you into a bunch of different beasts. You would transform into this dragon initially, and then I forget what the other beasts were, but there was a lot of power-ups that would make your fire breathing or your Hadoukens way more powerful. This game was just fucking amazing, and sure, it might have seemed like a quarter eater when you first started playing, because it was a little bit hard at first when you did start playing, but once you got in the groove, it was a pretty standard side-scrolling thing. You just need to get used to the enemies and be like, okay, I gotta stand here, I gotta do this, he's gonna die, and then I'll be fine. So yeah, this game was so rad. He jumped over that thing right there. I think it's because you transform into something else that's less cool than the dragon. Dragon is very useful, especially when you get those power-ups right where he got it right there. His fire right now is just out of this world crazy, and it's just POW 2. Imagine when he gets to POW 3, that fire breathing is just going to go out of control. So yeah, that's my number 4. It was a badass game here. I couldn't even go a little bit further into the gameplay here because this is the first level. Here, let's go further in and see. There you go. You're a ninja at one point. Well, that's the other thing. No, this is Shinobi. This is straight up your Shinobi, which is just straight up insane. I love this game. It was amazing. I guess you're not Shinobi because Shinobi is it SNK? Holy shit. I think this is Shinobi though. I'm pretty sure it was. All right, my number 3 is a little game called Galaga. You might have heard of it. It's pretty old. I don't have any footage of it because if you've never seen Galaga, I don't know what the hell you're doing with your life. I suppose you're not playing old school video games. But Galaga was fucking amazing. I love that game. I mainly played it on... so I have a few stories. This might be one of the earliest games I remember playing it in my whole life. This and Pac-Man in terms of arcade games. I'll even go back here. Pac-Man and Galaga. I remember going on snowmobile trips as a kid to this bar/restaurant/pool hall, and they had a Galaga and Pac-Man machine, and these were the exact 2 machines they had. The Galaga was on the fritz most of the time, so I only got to play it a few times. I played way more Pac-Man at that place, but Galaga was a rad game. The way you can combine your ships and all that. But it's one of the first cocktail machines that I gotta say it is probably the first. Pangu or Pango might have actually been the first cocktail machine I played. No, I'm not actually sure. But for sure Galaga... if I ever do get a cocktail machine, they make this Galaga / Miss Pac-Man machine that I'm showing right now. I just wanted to show the controls in a cabinet. I love cocktail machines. They make them where you could get like a 30 machines and whatnot. I don't really like those. I want a CRT screen in those bitches. You know what I'm saying? So, and hey, I should mention, if you ever want to call in about how terrible our top 10s have been, you can totally do it at any time. My number 2 is a game called Baby Pac-Man, and Baby Pac-Man was a pretty sweet game, and here's why. Because it kind of played similarly to... I guess it played similarly to Miss Pac-Man because the levels changed, but I guess it was a little bit slower, more like regular Pac-Man was, if I had to describe it. But the reason why this game was so badass is because it was a pinball machine in an arcade cabinet. It was rad how it worked. So you would play Pac-Man on the top screen, as you see right there, And then you have the bottom controller right there, the joystick that would just play Pac-Man. And then you have actually 4 buttons to play the pinball with. Just in case those side buttons are blocked off by other arcade machines, you also can push the top buttons to play the pinball with. That's what the top screen looks like. Just a regular Pac-Man looking game. I would even call it a demotion from what Miss Pac-Man and all that looked like. Kind of looks more like a Nintendo game, to be honest. But when you went to the bottom, what do you call that? The warp tunnels, I guess. The bottom warp tunnels, let's call them that. It warps you down to the bottom where you get to play some freaking pinball. It's not a super amazing pinball. It's not a full-length table. It's pretty short. Because it is still an arcade cabinet after all. But fucking A, I only played this one time, I think, in Warren, Ontario. And it was fucking dope. I only played, like I said, I only played it once in a dingy bar that was super popular when I used to go to it when I was a kid. But by the time I noticed that this machine, they acquired it, it was near the end of that restaurants/bars run. So I really wish I could have went back and been like, I'll give you $600 for this. And he might have said, yeah, sure, why not just take it away? I don't need it anymore. And that would have been badass if he would have. So that's my number 2. I fucking love Baby Pac-Man. In case you can't tell, yeah, it's one of my favorite games of all time, that's for sure. And it's my second favorite arcade game of all time. My first love in arcade games, though, is a little game called Asteroids. And here's the reason why I love this game so much is because it's clear why I love it. That vector monitor and how this game looked. It looked like a fucking HD game does now. But yeah, it's still just black and white, and it's still just text and a little spaceship and asteroids that you're blowing apart. But just the way that the screens looked on these machines and the way that you controlled it, you didn't have a D-pad, you didn't have a joystick. You had 2 buttons to rotate left and right, and then you had 2 buttons to thrust and fire, and then you had one that you pushed with your thumb. It was in the middle, a little bit slightly lower. That was called hyperspace. That would just teleport you to a space on the map. That button sucked. That button was only used for how can I say this? Like a last resort where you were like, oh, well, yeah, that's the only time I'm going to use that because if I'm going to die. I'm going to get destroyed right now. So, yeah, man, that game was just fucking amazing on its own. I played a lot of Asteroids on the PC. And what else did I play Asteroids on? But I did play it on the PC a lot. There's a lot of weird knockoff Asteroid games out there. But this is my favorite Asteroid cabinet, though, of all time. It's a sit-down cabinet. It's interesting because it's a cocktail, like I showed you earlier with Miss Pac-Man or Galaga or a bunch of other ones. But the buttons are like on the sides of it, so you only have like that little tiny screen in the middle that shifts back and forth. And it is another vector monitor. It's amazing, like how brighter your bullets are than everything else. It catches your eye, and the way that the text looks, it looks so HD for the time. And this is an old game. There's another one. The sequel was called Asteroid Deluxe, which is pretty much the same game, but they made the UFOs way harder, and I think they made like even the way the asteroids break apart a little bit harder. I feel like maybe when they get to the smaller bits, they go maybe even a little bit faster, and I don't want to say they heat seek you because they probably don't, but they don't need that in that game, to be honest. But yeah, Asteroids, man, if you've never played that at an arcade and you've never seen a vector monitor in person, I would just say try to find any game that has a vector monitor on it. Star Wars is one that just is fucking insane, and that one is colored. It's a colored vector monitor. I don't know how they make that work, but you're going in the trench of the Death Star with your X-Wing, and you're going to go blow it up, and that game is amazing. So yeah, there you go. That's my top 10. My number 1 is Asteroids, Steiner.
Okay.
That's my number 1.
Okay. There we go.
So now we're going to go to your number 4.
My number 4 is a little game called Raiden. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It is a top-down shooter. That's, I guess the main reason is just because with my friend we played a shit ton of this. It has power-ups. It does this. It does that. It was randomly generated, so it wasn't just the same thing over and over again. So it could kick your ass quite easily if you weren't paying attention. I don't know. The three of us just played a whole shit ton of it during high school.
It looks awesome. I've never heard of it, but it looks awesome. This is by Saibu. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't. It was an arcade cabinet in the arcade at Aaron Mill Sound Center, so it just played a shit ton of it. Another game in that arcade that I played a whole motherfucking shit ton of was Time Crisis 2.
I was thinking about putting shooting games on my list, but I was just like, which one's truly amazing?
Yeah, well, I kind of went more so of
the ones you like the most.
Played.
Yeah.
Well, how much I played, which would then kind of indicate of which ones I like the most.
Mm-hmm.
So in Aaron Mills Sound Center, the original arcade had this like the little glass section that they had this game up on top so that people could be behind the glass watching you. So at points in time, my friend and I probably had about 40 people watching us. Because we ended up,
they're near the end of the game. They're gonna
pretty much, yeah. So I think
sure.
Once we managed to beat the game on $2, so $1 each.
They're gonna get to the error screen. Their score is too high. It's too high.
But yeah, so it just was to the point of that we got good at it, or we learned the fucking pattern of however it worked or whatever, and then it's the point that then people could watch you and do whatever, and so you got the showboat aspect of it on top of that. It was just cool, I guess, because the way they had it set up more so than anything. I don't know. Don't really know what else to say. So my number 2, holy fuck this. So I've talked about this game several times on the show, but because of the way Capcom does their naming shit, I had no fucking clue which one it actually was. So I ended up looking for, 45 minutes to try to figure out which one I was actually talking about. Apparently, the game I played is Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter was the game I played a shit ton of.
This is the first crossover game? Oh, no, because they had X-Men before. Yeah.
Yes. Like, holy fuck. It just, I played multiples of them, is where I really get confused about them. I played X-Men versus Street Fighter. But it was, and then I also played Marvel versus Capcom, but this is Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, so it just was whatever. But
which is like the predecessor to just like Marvel versus Capcom, kind of.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. But yeah, I ended up played a shit ton of this. I got quite good at it. There was probably 1 or 2 people in the arcade that I went to that were better than me or as good as me type thing. So whenever it was fun to play those people, because like my immediate group of friends sucked at fighting games. So it just wasn't the same. Like, so I ended up having to like do that whole like put your quarter down thing and fucking stand in line and whatever. It was fun within a certain respect, but it was it all depended on if there was someone there that could actually play, which is always what it is with a fighting game. It's just
that's the thing that sucks about fighting games back in the day. Now you go online and can just do it.
Yeah. Now my top game, I guess, is I picked it mainly because of I was fucking good. It was the game that I could I was somewhere around like 18 wins in a row off beat. Like, so people would put down their quarters and step in beside me, and I'm pretty sure I ended up most days I had to go back to school before I actually died. Because I would come out at lunch or whatever, so I'd play for 45 minutes to an hour.
I've done that with video games. It's just like shit. I gotta go.
Yeah. So Power Stone, the first Power Stone, and I got fucking good with like nearly every fucking character. Like I could sit down with any character and just beat the computer with no problem. But then there was like Jack, I guess, was my main. And then the samurai dude was probably my secondary. And there were like people that knew who I was to the point of like, no, dude, you can't pick Jack. Fuck this. So I ended up having to get better at other players because people would refuse to play me if I picked Jack.
I don't know any of the characters' names.
Yeah.
Oh, Gunrock. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Gunrock. Yeah. Yeah, Falcon, and yeah, it just like I got fucking good at this game, and it was fun. So they had it at Silver City or Palladium or whatever the fuck they ended up calling it after.
Same thing.
Yeah. I played in a tournament there, got in second place, but that was out of a group of 100 people that actually went there for the fucking tournament. So, and I'm pretty sure that was like a good chunk of the GTA. So I was one of the, at this particular game, I was one of the best people in the GTA at. But yeah, it was fun. I was just good at it, and I could just wreck people.
Showing off, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, there was, and again, like there was a girl that was in the fighting scene, I guess. And like, I guess it would have been Marvel Superheroes versus X or Street Fighter or whatever the fuck that we played a fair bit, and she typically would beat me just barely. Like she would have like, it was like hits, like one or two hits of just like a fucking normal hit would have ended the game either way. I guess we also played a fair bit of Soul Cowl, and it was just like, so she was really good at multiple fighting games, but whenever we played Power Stone, it was just horribly stupid on how badly I would kick the crap out of her. At some points in time, I almost felt bad, but then I remembered that she kicked the shit out of me in Soul Cal, so I stopped caring. But again, like, I've seen her in shit. I think it was not Evo, but the other one.
I don't know. Capcom
what's the one
Cup.
in Phoenix?
That was Devastation. But that was a long time
I've seen
ago.
her in Devastation.
Cool.
But I don't think she was playing. I think she was like a coach of a team or something like that.
Whoops. Wrong
But
thing.
yeah, so Power Stone was my number one because I was fucking good at it.
Mm-hmm. My number one was just because. Have you ever played Asteroids?
Yes.
In an arcade?
No.
Oh
no.
man, because it's on a vector monitor.
Yeah.
And that shit looks amazing. Amazing. The way that the bullets look way brighter than everything else. And the text looks HD in that game. Like it's so crisp. I don't know. It's nice. I love that game a lot. Especially in arcades. I played it a lot outside of arcades too, but man, in the arcades.
I would have the 2600, I'm assuming, is what it would have been on.
Yes, and I also played a PS1 Asteroids.
Oh, okay. So I had the Atari version. If that was the 2600,
and I played a lot of PC rip-off Asteroid games.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. On DOS and Windows 3.1.
Yeah, I had a lot of like Space Invaders and Galaga. Asteroids were 2600 games for me. So outside of Space Invaders, like that's why they weren't on my list, because I didn't actually really play them in the arcade because I had them at home.
Yep. Somebody wanted to call in, and I just said Skype in. Oh no, call via Skype. Does it say?
No, he said what Skype?
Oh yeah, no. See, I didn't put while Matt. I'm an idiot. Didn't put my Skype name in the title, which I usually mean to do. Oh well, sorry. I totally fucked that up. That's on me. All right, well that's it. That's Fresh Airs Overrated. Hope you like that top 10. I'm gonna try to cut it out separately and put it on the YouTube by itself. See how that goes.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, because the last four we were like totally separate.
Mm.
All right. So if you're tuning in live, Sprawl and Brawl number 63 is airing next. If you're not watching live, you can go check that out on megascorcher.com alongside Fresh Air is Overrated and everything else. We're on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else you can find podcasts. We're airing live on YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer. Is it .com? I think it's .com. It's .com. So Mixer.com.
Mixer, you have .com, yeah.
It is .com. And we're all Mega Scorcher TV on those channels, airing live every Thursday night. Fresh Air is Overrated. Check it out. Eastern Time. Or hey, you know, wherever you are. If you're in Japan, you're watching us at 9 a.m. Well, yeah, 9 a.m.
That'd be cool.
That'd be different. Definitely be different. But thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. I got some candy. It's in my pocket.
Is that how you end Fresh Air now? Is that becoming a thing?
It might be. Or I'm just going to do some weird pedophile thing.
I don't know if I approve of this.
Just trying something. I don't know. If I get cops knocking on my door somehow, then I'll stop doing it.
I just realized I played the wrong theme song, but whatever, I'm just going to let it play out.